What's up everybody, welcome back to the YouTube channel. We're back here with Andy behind the camera today, so something a little bit different for you guys, and I'm excited to bring you some new content to the channel. I've been talking about this for a while. I'm finally here in London, I'm finally settled in as such, and it's nice to kind of take the hands off a roll and film it and get this done. So we're loading up on pre-workout today. Today I've got a naughty boy, the combo. This is the Insight Cross, so obviously Naughty Boy Lifestyle, they made these pre-workouts. Insight said, we can make this better, and they went ahead and did it. This is honestly up there with MVP for me. It's really, really good. And this is also the Insight Cross with their pump. So they got the sick pump, and then also the pre-workout. So obviously one is stim-based, one is pump-based. Insight have gone in and done their own thing with these, which is really, really cool. So I've got the combo in here today. Intro as normal. I've kind of upped my intro a little bit. We've got 50 grams of carbohydrates in there now as food starts to rise, and I also put my EAAs to 40 grams. Someone asked me in my DMs of the day, why did you have 40 grams of protein when the serving size is 27? I just want 40 grams of protein. For me, intro workout is a very, very good eating window, especially when food gets really, really high. There's 400 calories in here, and it's gonna go down just like water. So I'm excited. Let's get into it, guys. So I'm just going to talk you through the workout before we go in, because I know that I'm going to forget when we go into. So first up, we're going to go for an incline dumbbell press. I know that I talk about moving muscles into their shortened range first, and there is certainly an aspect of training that you need to focus on where the muscles work in it and how to load it. But there's also things like priority principle that we need to focus on, and everyone needs some more upper chest, so I'm coming with the incline dumbbell press first. It's a really, really good movement for me. I connect to it really well, and obviously the converging path of a dumbbell press works quite well in the drop off up there as well. So first up, incline dumbbell press. We're going to move on to a shoulder press machine. Now I've been using the Nautilus Nitro range as a tongue twister in there, which is absolutely amazing to use. Some of the stuff that I've never used before, it's really, really good. So we're going to use the Nautilus press there. Then we've got another flat press, which we're going to use the Nautilus again for the flat press. I had a comment on my last video saying it's too much isolation. You're not isolating as such, you're in a stable environment. When you're in a stable environment, you can put more emphasis to where you want it to go, essentially. So once you're in that stable environment, it allows you to really put every ounce of effort into where you're trying to target. So for me, obviously the chest. Then we'll go into some sort of pec deck. I've been umming and ahhing what pec deck to use, and obviously I've got no cuffs in there at the moment, so I might throw some cuffs in. We then go into cuff lying lateral raises, my favorite lateral raises, and then we've got a little bit of arms at the end, which of course you will see. You don't need to talk about it because it's boring. Let's get into it, guys. Last week, 65 for 5. It was a struggle. So I'm hoping 6, 7. I'm a little bit heavier than last week. I'm about half a kilo up. In my head, if I'm heavier, I'm stronger. I don't know why it works like that, but that's the way it is. We'll see how we get on with this. One small set, I think there's 2 sets. Got a shoulder press next, then a flat press, a fly, and a lateral raise of choice. And I think it's a tricep dominated arm tagged on the end, so it'll be 2 tricep exercises, 1 bicep, tricep, bicep, tricep, and then on my other push day, bicep, tricep, bicep. That's it. But I'm feeling that it's like a second. So every third day I train push, and now I can feel that accumulation of fatigue. So I'm only matching reps, but I'm on cycle, I'm in a surplus. should be progression there, but that might be a case for too much volume. Give it another week or so, and then we'll adjust it as we go. So, kind of came in here quite gassed thinking I'm going to do it. I failed both those sets really. Matched on the first set. Second set was 2 reps down. It's a head fuck, I don't like that kind of shit, unfortunately. So I've got this at rep count. You can see the top two markers here. One of them is 925, one above 825, and the 825 was today's volume. So that is 100 kilos less volume. Therefore, that's the regression. So in order for me to make that up, I'm gonna do one more extra set. I'm gonna keep to that same weight. Obviously, I'm not gonna manage another 10 reps on that, but I'm gonna accumulate more volume than I did last week. Therefore, there is progression there. So there's some benefit in having like an auto-regulated training session in the way that the goal of the session is to push volume up. If you don't hit it over those 2 sets like ideally you should, you can tag another one on. That's what we're going to do now. Five plates for 6 last time. If I can get 6 or 7 again, I'll be happy. I think taking that auto-regulatory approach, where if you don't hit the volume that you did last week and you add that extra set in, that's also extra fatigue you've got to think about. So yes, you might progress those first 2 exercises once you get onto the 3rd or 4th exercise. Because you've progressed, there's more fatigue, so you've got to manage it as you go. So I'm saying 7 on 5 plates. You heard it here first, let's fucking go. Finally matched one. Jesus Christ. When I'm with someone else, like for example, I trained with Joe the other day, right? And like, I don't know whether it's like pressure you don't feel, but you're just like, okay, let's go now. I've got to show up. Maybe that burnt you out a bit too much. I felt good. I felt fresh. I felt ready. My head's fully gone. I'm literally, I swear, if you weren't here, I'd be fucking screaming. Fuck. We've done our incline press, we've done a shoulder press, so now we're on a flat press. Obviously trying to direct more intent towards that classic clear area, the upper chest area, because need more there. Most people can activate their lower chest through any type of press, so it's just more like supplementary. This machine's amazing actually. This machine will converge right at the top. It will drop off when it needs to, so it's a really, really good machine. My only worry is if I'm going to get the same as last week after the first fucking exercises. I got 4 plates for 5 last time, so with a spot. So hoping if I rest a little bit now, I'll be able to get 5 again. See. Oh my god. Alright, I'm actually gonna just play the humble game and take the fucking weight down. Jesus Christ. That's it. I got it though. Fuck. So we're gonna come on to a pec fly now. We're gonna use the world famous D handles. These are not the D handles, these are just some D handles. You wait for the D handles, they're coming soon. Now, for me, it just makes so much sense to put this over because you've immediately got some flexion and rotation in the wrist, where otherwise you're fixed in this movement. And everyone has different lever lengths, different wrist to elbow distances, and then obviously shoulder to elbow distances. So this just allows so much freedom at the joint. So I don't think I'll ever do a pec fly without a D handle on again. So a couple sets here. I am determined to make up for this last set, at least on this. Let's see what we can do. Big movements like this are a lot less energy demanding, a lot less energy going into it. So you can see why I get a PB. That was a couple reps up. Thankfully, a couple reps up. Well, you can see, in that short range. So length and range because the delt is fully lengthened. Mid range because it's midway contracted. Short way because it's fully contracted. You can see we fatigue in that mid range. So to take we've taken that short range to failure. We've taken that mid range to failure. So we can finish off that set by taking the length and the mid range to failure by just hitting some partials. If you physically can't get it above, you failed in that rep range. So you can just hit them partials to really work that length and range and cap off the delts for the session. Triceps, biceps, triceps and that. So if you haven't already, check out the latest video on my Instagram. We talk a little bit about the different exercises that you can use with the cuffs. Mostly for push at the moment. This is going to be another one you guys can use, a cuffed crossover tricep. The reason why I put crossover on these cables and use the cuff is because it allows you just to come in that natural line of pull rather than a tight bar that you're here or a tight rope where you're here. Instead, we can sit back and we can just open up naturally using the cables to turn. progressing these, but then literally getting matched as well. So there's something serious we need to assess right here, whether it's too much volume. I mean, I feel like I'm sleeping well. Maybe I need more food. I'm not going crazy up in weight at the moment. It's just micro progressions. So either need more food, less volume, something like that. Fuck knows. Oh baby. So we're coming into an overhead tricep. Essentially just putting that shoulder into a little bit of flexion there. You can stretch out the arm hamstring, tricep a little bit. I think it's important when you're looking at doing biceps and triceps that you do an exercise for that muscle in a position of, you know, shoulder extension, shoulder flexion, just so you can work in different ranges. Obviously, when you're doing like a preacher curl, your arm forward, you're working more in that contracting range. When you're further back, more in the lengthening range. Similarly for the tricep, we worked in front forward with the cables first, working pretty much both heads, but working here, definitely putting that long head under a little bit more stretch, a little bit more mind to muscle connection there, and just working it through that full contractile range. Finishing up here, 3 sets, and we're done. That's a good one. Alright, so that apparently kicked my ass, but I guess it's important for you guys to see the real shit. Like it doesn't click every single session, but if you looked at my Instagram, you'd probably think it does. I put myself in the best physical, emotional, mental space to be able to progress, but it doesn't always translate like that. So clearly there was something there this week that either stopped me progressing or just kept me where I was. You know, knowing the calculations of progression, we can slowly but surely work that out. Was it sleep? No, I slept really good last night. I tracked it. You know, my recovery was good. I also felt really good. Is it the drugs? Probably not, just because I'm starting to peak now, so things should be progressing nicely. Is it the food? Maybe, potentially, because my weight has been struggling to move up. Even though we've introduced gear. I introduced gear about 2 weeks ago, and I crept up a little bit, but that's just intracellular fullness. That's not necessarily anything that's going to aid me in my session. So it might be food. I'm on a new split, so I've been doing push and arms every 3rd day. So that is a lot of pushing and a lot of arms as well. So naturally, if you're doing too much, it's going to inhibit that next session, which is going to slow down that progression. So taking an educated guess, I'm going to say that it's probably too much volume and we're going to have to adjust that. But also, having said that, that's one session. That's one session out of the last 10 that I've had that's felt a bit, and like I was just saying to Andy then, like, I actually feel good. I actually don't feel like I didn't have it in me. I just couldn't move what I couldn't move. So I think that tells me a little bit more about the story, and it probably tells me that it's probably going to be the volume. But we're going to run this again for another week or so. We'll see how those next sessions go. Another thing that's lingering in my head is that I trained with Joe the last 3 sessions, and we obviously took each other a little bit further. We took each other through those ranges that we couldn't get through on our own a little bit as well. So that could be a cumulative fatigue that we've got to think about. So you can understand, like, I'm not just some fucking bro walking in the gym trying to lift weights as safe as I can, because there's calculations to this, there's methods to this. If you're trying to be the best, which I feel like I'm trying to be the best, you can slowly but surely work out what the issue is. And I think if you are in control of these variables, you're in control of these calculations, you can work out what it is and you can adjust it. So we'll give it a little bit more time, we'll assess it a little bit more, gather a little bit more info, a little bit more data, and we'll be able to make an informed decision, and I'll keep you guys informed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll speak to you soon. Like, subscribe, comment if you enjoyed this one. Peace, everybody.